Imagine what it takes to get your favorite products to your door. From designing, engineering, purchasing of source materials, as well as getting everything to the shop floor where the magic happens. Well, that's all been turned upside down recently with supply chain issues and chip shortages that have sent a ripple effect throughout all of the manufacturing industry. In the thick of it is defense manufacturing. That topic was part of a recent webcast at Defense News, where experts discussed the future of defense manufacturing. In it, Defense News editor Marjorie Sensor spoke to Matt Medley, who serves as the Global Industry Director at IFS.
First up, let's talk about recent disruptions like supply chain weaknesses and chip shortages. How have those impacted the defense manufacturing industry's ability to deliver products?
Yeah, it's been a pretty big deal. So we know that it's been a big problem across the world for a few years, and the manufacturers and the contractors that have the most widely distributed operations are the ones that are being particularly affected by supply chain problems and have been hit the hardest. In many of these cases, these companies made decisions long ago based on business cases that are kind of outdated now to move some production maybe offshore or lower cost labor somewhere else or things like that. But those business cases that they did to make those decisions have been kind of flipped on their heads because some of the assumptions are no longer true. And those assumptions include a stable and robust supply chain. So when you have problems like that, you have to go back and see if that still makes sense to do that. On top of that, COVID seems to be winding down, but still has caused major supply chain issues that we're working through. Global conflicts like the Russia-Ukraine war and tensions between China and Taiwan have made physical shipping through parts of the world very, very difficult right now. And of course, there's still a shortage of skilled labor. And the remaining workforce is demanding hefty raises and concessions. So it's really tough to be a manufacturer right now. And all of that unaccounted for risk has kind of opened the eyes of business leaders to the cost of not mitigating that risk. But when you account for it in today's reality, a lot of times the business cases are saying, rebuild your supply chain in a resilient way and bring things closer to home.
And so what strategies have you seen put in place to cope with the problems you outlined?
Sure. Yeah, I just mentioned one, bringing things closer to home. You may hear it called onshoring or nearshoring or even friendshoring. Not necessarily things back to the US or from the originating country, although a lot of countries like to do that. But like I said, just revisiting those business cases. You might have to pay slightly higher labor costs, but you're also greatly lowering transportation costs. And in the context of risk, you're lowering your risk as well. So it really makes a lot of sense to at least look at that again and see if you can do that. So that's got the organizational level. At the plant level, unfortunately, we're having to see, at least temporarily, plants carrying more inventory and buffer stock to help weather these small and intermediate delays. That kind of goes against the lean principle of just-in-time delivery and things like that. But lean doesn't mean no inventory, it means minimal inventory, and you have to account for risk with that. Fortunately, there are technology solutions out there that can help you determine the optimum levels, and we'll get into some of that, I'm sure.
We host regular webcasts with some of the biggest minds in defense on the most timely issues. We also take audience questions, so check out defensenews.com/events for more.